listening to TC TAUX on TNT.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It is TC here, back with another episode of TC TAUX. And if you are on Instagram, this is the first ever episode that you have watched of TC TAUX potentially. And that's because this is the first ever episode that we have launched right here on Instagram. Now, this used to be a YouTube exclusive, but we're branching out, trying to put it on our main page, which is our Instagram. It's how we interact with all of our fans during our live radio show on Wednesday nights at 5 p.m. on SportstownChicago.com, or search SportstownChicago.com in the TuneIn app, and you can stream it on your phone or any mobile device. But in either case, it's good to be here on YouTube, on the gram, or, you know, what do you call YouTube? The slang, the way the kids would say it. Somebody tell me, because honestly, I'm not going to lie. The song Woman, I didn't even know she was saying woman. You know, I thought it was like some, fancy new word that the kids were saying. Apparently, it's just my old man ears kicking in. And I know what everybody's saying. TC, you're like 12. Yeah, I understand that. Okay, I'm a little bit young looking, but at heart, in my mind, in my soul, I swear I am a 60-year-old man. I write my notes on my napkins. Most of the music I listen to came out before your parents were born. I mean, there is nothing that's young and hip about me. In fact, I still drive a stick shift, and not for a super fast sports car, but for a daily driver. So you know I'm just that dedicated to the cause. But in either case, I hope you guys are having a great day, evening. I don't know where you are. Maybe you're in space, so congratulations on getting a signal out there, but I guess you are right by all those internet thingies out there. I don't know what you call those things, satellite dishes, but is satellite for the internet? I don't know. Somebody who's smart, tell me in the comment section below, or make fun of me, slide into my DMs if you're on Instagram, and tell me why I'm a loser. Yeah, we've been talking about sliding into DMs because just like the NFL, we're trying to make a big joke of this Deshaun Watson situation. So, seriously though, the whole thing going on with Deshaun Watson is just a clown show. So, the only thing I have to say is I hope he gets more than 6 games during this appeal process, but we're going to leave it at that. And let's dive into what we really want to talk about. If you guys saw it on Instagram today, if you saw it on YouTube earlier today, then you already know we're going to be talking about what Big Ben said about the modern NFL, and we're going to be talking all about the Chicago Bears. My Chicago Bears. I know, I'm from Chicago, do a Chicago accent as good as somebody who doesn't even know what Chicago is. So, with that in mind, let's dive into what Big Ben said about the NFL. Now, I was looking for some specific quotes, and I was looking online for literally 20 minutes. I know it doesn't seem like a lot of time, but I try to get these videos out within a certain amount of time, so eventually I just give up if I can't find direct quotes. He just basically said the game has changed and people have changed when he's noticing difference between his early years and now. He says back then the team was so important. It was all about the team. Now it's about me and this and that and the other. So there was a direct quote. I just didn't see it earlier. You see what reading does for you people, but in either case, pick up a book. Okay, but seriously though, for this situation, I can't agree anymore with Ben Roethlisberger, and there's a number of reasons why. If you look at just some of the behavior of what's going on, sure, there might be medical reasons involved with some people. I'm looking at you, Antonio Brown. And that's just because I'm worried about him, to be honest. Like, I swear there has to be something wrong with that guy, and I blame Perfect for it 100%. that guy deserved that hit that Juju gave him, and that's one of the best things I've ever seen from an NFL player. That is a great way to stand up for your teammate. Don't care if he got penalized or anything. I don't care who says that was dirty. That was the most clean play in my mind I've ever seen, especially because he was coming off unblocked. It was within 5 yards. No reason for it to not be legal. Okay. In either case, Ben Roethlisberger, 100% right in this scenario. In other scenarios in his earlier days, he was definitely wrong, just like Deshaun Watson. We brought him up. But in either case, he's right in this regard. And that's because there's been a number of instances like Antonio Brown, like Juju Smith-Schuster to a degree today, okay? Like Tyreek Hill, all right? Like Deshaun Watson. Yes, we had to bring him up again. But if you look at it, there is a specific pattern with these people, and it is a level of selfishness that you don't really see elsewhere. I mean, in other high-power positions, absolutely. But in average life, between me and you, we're not going to see that. And what do I mean by that? Well, Tyreek Hill, let's start with him because he is a shining example of what's going on. He literally went out and was basically a jerk to his former quarterback, his former team, just so he could get clicks on his podcast. I mean, do I need to say anything else? That sums it up in a nutshell. This guy cared more about the amount of people that went to go watch his video, the amount of people that liked the video, the amount of people that commented and reacted to it over the fact of the relationship that he has with that team. But because these guys at Kansas City are class acts, they're not going to worry about it. Like Patrick Mahomes is like, yeah, it's weird. I don't know why he's doing it. I mean, I think I know why he's doing it to get clicks, but I mean, it's a little off, if you know what I mean. And I completely agree. If more guys were like Patrick Mahomes, Ben Roethlisberger would be wrong. But because Patrick Mahomes is the exception and not the rule to how players behave in the NFL, that's why he's right. In addition to just Tyreek Hill, you also have these other guys like Juju Smith-Schuster who literally go out there, dance on other teams' logos, get lit up for it, and doesn't see a problem with it. I mean, it's an embarrassment. Personally, like, this is not all about you and your TikTok time. This is an NFL team, and especially if you're going to get popped and rocked like that, you got to calm down. You got to focus on the team. You got to focus on being a good NFL player because, I mean, sure, you got some of these guys that are fantastic and act this way, like Antonio Brown. To a degree, what he did, he was able to get away with because of how good he was. But eventually, that behavior catches up to you. And eventually, if you're let off the leash too much, you go too far. It reminds me of this dog, Copper. When he was younger at daycare, I work at a doggy daycare. If this is your first time, I know you guys on Instagram, first time. So when he was a baby, puppy, we would kind of let him get away with a little too much. And now today, he is one of the most annoying dogs that we have to deal with at daycare. He is an angel elsewhere. We take him out one by one, because we're bringing them back to their owner. Sweetest dog, we'll carry the leash with him, walk right next to you, 100% the best. But in that room, because we normalized that behavior, that's how he acts. And that's exactly how people respond. If we normalize what they do, if we let them get away with bad behavior, they're going to keep doing it. And that has continuously happened in the NFL. And this most recent case that's been appealed is the icing on the cake to show that that's true. The NFL has allowed players to get away with too much for too long. It's finally catching up to them because we're in an era of the Me Too era, I guess is the best way to put it. And I know a lot of people don't like hearing that. I'm not trying to, make it this way or that way. I'm just saying that the fact of the matter is people are a lot more aware of specifically these types of situations too, that doesn't bode well when the NFL doesn't properly address them. And perhaps they're going to do that. But it got to this point due to past failure from the NFL. And hopefully they're able to correct it. Hopefully they go out there and they give him a good punishment. But if they don't, they're going to blame it all on that woman, and that's not okay. Do not fall for that. Blame the NFL. Blame them. They could have just done it from the beginning. They throw it over to her. Now they're saying they don't like it. If it doesn't come back their way again, it is 100% on them. It's not Sue Robinson's fault. Don't blame her. But in either case, we're done with the NFL. We're done talking about the selfish, single-minded, I don't even know. We're done with those people. We're talking about one of the worst teams in football now, okay? I need you to get excited, okay? Get pumped up. You have not seen garbage as pristine as this. In fact, they got some garbage time helmets that they are just introducing this year as well. So it's going to be a great season. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the Chicago Bears, they unleashed an orange alternate helmet, and it is absolutely disgusting. I mean, you got to go see that. Dislike it, comment how ugly it is. It looks the absolute worst. I cannot, for the life of me, emphasize how bad I think it is. It is terrible. But that's not the only thing that's terrible. What else is terrible is the Chicago Bears offense. And I know what a lot of you are thinking. Well, no, duh. Have you seen the wide receiver room? It's practically a broom closet, okay? You got one good receiver out there, and then you got a bunch of bodies. It's basically a morgue. You got the guy looking at the bodies, the mortician, and then you got all the stiffs. That's the situation in Chicago, and I know that's been the narrative. I know that's what you've been, prescribed to believe by the coastal elites. I know. Calm down. But in either case, Chicago, while it does not have one of the most elite wide receiver rooms, I do think it would be it's going to be an interesting case. Are they going to come out right at the gate and be fantastic and have two receivers on pace for 1,000 yards and, a third at, over 500? Probably not. Probably not going to have a bunch of top-of-the-line receivers. In fact, I doubt Justin Fields gets 4,000 yards. If he gets 3,500, I would be impressed. And I know what you're saying. He threw 2,700 last year. Well, that was with a number of weapons. A lot of those weapons are gone. The offensive line is being reworked. It's a new offensive scheme. So we don't even know what's going to happen. God forbid he could get injured, because that is Chicago's luck. When we go big, we go home, because our big bet gets hurt. It, tears its ACL and MCL or whatever the heck D-Rose did, in the waning minutes of an easily win series. But in either case, we don't know what's going to happen. But that the Chicago Bears, they honestly have something interesting going on both sides of the ball. The biggest thing, I think, on the defensive side has to be Kyler Gordon. That guy is proving to be a ball hawk, and while he might not be something to get Chicago in the green, he is definitely going to be making strides, and by next year, he could be one of the top safeties in the NFL. No question about that. He has a tremendous amount of skill, big range. He is phenomenal, and not even to mention his hands. He's made some ridiculous interceptions this mini camp and training camp, so good for him. It is going to be awesome to see him and interesting to see how Chicago utilizes him going into the season. And on the offensive side of the ball, I think the offensive line is the biggest thing to be excited about. I know it's not the flashiest part of the offense, especially when you're talking about all these high-scoring teams that, are able to score in 13 seconds and all that kind of stuff. But in either case, the point that I'm making is the Chicago Bears O-line looks like it could be interesting. Now, there are some injuries that are preventing it from being solidified, for lack of a better word, but that has left the room open for some rookies to get a little bit more time with the first team. And that, while it might not benefit the Bears in this season, I definitely think going into next season and that mini camp, that training camp, that is going to be a difference maker, because now you got Ja'Tyre Carter getting first team reps this offseason as a rookie at right guard. That's going to go a long way with his development. I think it's great. It helps him learn the system better. And sure, maybe some of those guys aren't back next year, but that means he's going to have just that much more in him to be able to come out and be one of the guys that can land a starting role next year. And that's exactly what I would want. I mean, he is a young talent. He's got all upside on him. He's got a big base. He's got the strength. He's got the size. Now all he needs to do is kind of grow a little, develop a little bit with that footwork, and he's going to go a long way. But that's all I really got for you guys today. Oh, Justin Fields, really quickly. I mean, not much news about him. The biggest thing I would say is that fundamentally he looks like a great quarterback now. I mean, honestly, you could say fundamentally a lot of players look great, but Justin Fields, especially if you just compare him, if you compare what he looked like at the end of last season to now, he looks like a completely different quarterback. So I think that is probably the second biggest thing to happen in all of the training camp so far is the development of Justin Fields. Now, how much will that translate to on the field? We don't know. But it does show that there is potential in this young quarterback going into his second season. This is a new coach, time to start new, and I think he's going to be able to do that. I think he's going to be able to lead these Chicago Bears to something interesting. Maybe not this year. Well, this year it's definitely going to be something interesting, but not too far in the future, they are going to be contenders yet again. You guys just wait. That's all I got for you here today on TC Talks. If you enjoyed the video, then let me know in the comments. Slide into my DMs here on Instagram and let me know. Did you enjoy it? What do you want me to talk about? Are there other topics that you want to get some more in-depth information about? We're thinking about starting a more in-depth series instead of an opinion-based series. So if that's something you guys would be interested in, either here on YouTube or Instagram, let us know either in the DMs or in the comment section below. Until next time, this is TC with TC Talks. Peace.